All right. So again, a lot of people have been asking about these players. As we have technically entered the second week, we had some scheduling issues with them. So this is actually their opening round. We have not seen ACCM and Capoch play yet, and they're going to be playing right now. Now, within like 2 days, we're going to see their second round. So pretty soon, we're going to find out how in shape these players are. ACCM is in the red, playing as the humans. And then we've got Capoch in the blue, playing as the Magyars. Map is Jungle Swamp. So I think I said Kilimanjaro before hopping in, so that's incorrect. Sorry, the map is Jungle Swamp. And if ACCM is playing humans, I imagine he's going to probably drop the second TC somewhere, which we just haven't seen yet. Now, where do you drop it? Because most of the wood, which is where you typically would build TCs, it's towards the middle. And there's also not a ton of farm space. So if you cram your TC too deep into the wood line, it's actually quite bad for you. I think the best TC spots would probably be... I could see it here. And then, I mean, like, maybe over here. But there's just a very exposed map. So Capoch has gone for the more traditional pick. And he's gone for Magyars, which means we expect a lot of scouts and aggression. So Capoch, even more so, though, is going to need to be aggressive here. Now, hold on a second. Back up. That boar just hit itself in the wood line. That is wild. He just walked into the darkness right in between those trees. Laming is allowed, and ACCM is kind of known for laming. I wonder if there's a possibility if that boar stays in there, that Capoch will think it's stolen. Oh, it's moving back. Okay, never mind. Yeah, usually they move around a little bit. And it's pretty good that they do, because now Capoch will see it's there. It may walk back, but I think Capoch will be fine. So there's the swamp aspect in the middle. You have all the fish here. And then you've got like 100 or so deer on the map. So certainly plenty of food income. But combining fishing and the TC and scouts and spears is just, it's a lot to manage at the same time. But I'll know that ACCM will have been doing some practice sessions. He always is. Anytime I talk to him in person, he's like asking me. Actually, the first person I talked to about the maps, it was like 2 days before I think we put them into the map pack, was ACCM. And we were looking at the maps at Noble Apartment Cup. And he was just like, I like these maps. These maps are strategy. So he was also a big fan of Wandering Warriors Cup maps, obviously. He was the champion there. Anytime ACCM's got prep, he's always going to have motivation. He's going to be coming out firing. So Capoch goes for the dock in the middle. We'll see fish from him, and we'll see the fish from ACCM. Orphis JBF, thank you very much. Donated $20. This is thanks for the entertainment. Oh, thank you. I will be spending the $20 immediately on more Ethernet cables after today's stream, and I really appreciate the donation. Thank you. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say, but sometimes my brain just stops working, so hopefully that's behind us. It seems pretty good now, right? I'm going to switch out every single Ethernet cable I have. Just a couple ponds over here I've noticed. Those are, of course, non-factors. Technically, you could build a dock there after you took the shorefish. That'll never happen. And Capoch knows that ACCM is docked, most likely due to the activity in the middle. ACCM obviously knows that Capoch is there. And sometimes, if you're playing up against the humans, the best approach is to go fast castle instead of going fast feudal. But when you're the Magyars, the typical play is fast feudal into lots of scouts. So I was kind of curious if Capoch would change his game plan, but it doesn't look like he will. So he's still going to go for the scout build. Man, he ate mainly deer, and he's just got nothing but llamas underneath his TC. Similar for ACCM. And now I'm wondering what ACCM's plan is. Is it army, or is it 2 TCs? It's got to be the TCs. You wouldn't pick humans otherwise, right? Clearly, he thinks this is so strong that this is worth it. Now, he's left some deer in some critical areas near woodlines. It feels like maybe he will TC here, and then he could take the deer and the trees. You could also TC the gold and then take the deer and the gold. But the thing is, you don't really need gold that early. So you don't usually see the TC on the gold because it messes with your eco balance. It would be kind of cool to TC the gold, though, because then you can take the gold to make some ships for the middle. But again, it's like, how many ships are you really going to make there? Usually you just see a couple. And then it turns into scouts and spears. And Capoch probably wondering the same thing. Where will he build that TC? But most likely he's expecting it. And ACCM's actually going over here for the TC. I think he can't build it, though, because that tree is in the way. And so he places it there. Okay. Yeah, the better TC is actually probably right there, but that tree was blocking it, and he didn't have it scouted. Okay, so ACCM queues up a fire galley. So does Capoch. ACCM will walk back and forth. This will take 2 trips, but he will get enough gold to make the next fire. The thing is, though, he also needs wood for a mill. Like, there's just a lot of things happening right now. And also, Capoch is around with the scout. And Capoch is also bringing spears to the middle. I really like that from Capoch. Guys, something that Capoch does really well is he just brings the numbers. He brings the numbers, he brings the chaos, and he just never stops. And so this is a great start for him. Like we said, both players can only afford 1 fire galley, but because he has military on the field otherwise, he turns the tide towards him, will snipe the fish, his fish will survive. Man, this is just so greedy for ACCM. The other thing, too, is he didn't really do that much damage to the fire galley. So even if he makes another one, he might not even win that battle if ACCM brings more spears back. So I would imagine that this is a strategy that has been tested, and ACCM probably feels as though it just can't be stopped. But for now, it's tricky. Look at him try and push in the deer. The deer does get in close, but he doesn't have any farms. He's trying to full wall a map that is kind of designed to be open. And 5 kills already for Capoch. This isn't bad for Capoch. What is kind of bad for Capoch is he's got tons of wood right now. So he really needs to get on the berries. Did he mill deer here? I guess so. Yeah, milled some deer. We'll save the rest of the wood for farms. And only 3 scouts for him right now. 2 of them are weak. So, yeah, I mean, the cumin boom is starting now. Farms will start to get dropped. There's been enough deer and enough berries to keep the TC working so far. These deer are also back here. See if Capoch can find enough damage. He's just killed the fish. He hasn't killed any villagers yet. ACCM is going to play super safe. He's even going to wall behind. Capoch's scouts are really weak right now. So I feel like a lot of players are going to be looking at this right now, and they're not going to be a fan of this build ACCM's going for. They're going to be feeling as though it's not a smooth enough eco. And I would understand that. But Capoch, he is under some pressure to get those villagers killed off before the humans have the time to cook. I don't mind the range if your opponent is going to go for spear defense. We haven't actually seen that. I think the main thing for Capoch right now is that he doesn't invest too heavily into feudal age. So you stop with the amount of scouts you're working with. Bring in a couple ranged units, but then just get value from this army and try and head to castle. 0 military for ACCM. And Capoch's res collected still looking pretty good. And Capoch doesn't have a single farm either. He's been building mills on the deer. So, I mean, eventually he will need to farm, right? And ACCM's farming quite a bit compared to him. And ACCM's got the 2 TCs. So, this will start to get really dangerous. 11 villager lead now for ACCM. But I think the key unit, well, the combination of units you need against the humans is Night Siege. Trying Cav Archer could work, I guess, because the map's really exposed. But I think you just need to eat this TC. I think that's got to be the goal. Tower now from ACCM to protect the wood line a little bit more. Worried about some archers. And second stable from Capoch. This is good play from him. The only thing is he will need some farms eventually. But he's doing what a lot of other players don't do, and he's going around to the extra areas of hunt. And he's able to do that because ACCM just isn't being aggressive at all. By the way, we troll a lot on this stream, and we make a lot of jokes. I encourage that. But typically that's with things where it's like, it's less serious than my stream going down during a big event that I'm pouring my heart and soul into. So I don't know if people are trying to bait me with the occasional, like, F or if he's gone down. But I would just like to point out, I genuinely don't find that funny. So I'm sure people will still make the joke because it's like, you know, streamer doesn't want me to do this, I'll do it. But if you're doing it to troll me, it actually would be great if you don't. You just had a problem with your connection. Oh, my bad. Okay. Then my bad. I thought you were just messing with me. That's all good. Wow, so ACCM clicks up. He's got a 20 villager lead. He will drop a tower here to protect the gold. The tower here protects the wood. Walls behind here is done pretty decent. He had to use the market, but he's up. And here comes the pressure from Capoch. Now, I think Capoch is going to run through here. ACCM probably thinks he's kind of okay. But yeah, the scouts go through. Knights are going to do the exact same thing. These scouts have all the extra attack. And finally, Capoch will kill a Vil. Oh, man, there's so many Vils back here. If the Knights just run through, this is awful for ACCM. And what's his plan? I think his plan is to get to a castle. But the Magyar Knights are here. ACCM should run through. Or sorry, Capoch should run through. Here he goes. Capoch breaks the wall. The Knights run past. House walls from ACCM there to keep his Vils alive. Interesting. It's kind of an awkward spot for Capoch to be right now. This is odd. But, I mean, he's doing so much damage. He kills 2 more Vils. The eco is super idle for ACCM, and ACCM still can't build a castle yet. ACCM has, like, crazy amounts of idle time right now. Villagers on straggler trees. Not enough on gold. Not enough on food. These villagers are idle. But I guess if he can get enough camels to deal with this, and then he can drop a castle, his Vil count will stay high. And things could potentially still be fine for him. The thing is, the camels have no upgrades. So I think Magyar Knights should be able to kill these camels. We'll see if Capoch has that confidence. It doesn't seem like he does. Behind this, Capoch has the farms now. Capoch still taking some deer. Capoch might need a second TC eventually. ACCM keeping those Vils alive. He has enough stone for a castle. He will drop the castle there. If that castle goes up, and it gets to a combination of Kipchaks and camels, things could get really dangerous for Capoch. Capoch will take that fight. He will win that fight. This is what I'm talking about. It's no upgrades on the camels against all the upgrades that the Magyars get for free. Oh no, ACCM! That's just not enough defense. Capoch dives with 2 more knights. They'll need to back off. The castle's still not up. This is just so much idle time for ACCM. Like, eventually the Vils, if he can get this castle up, they can actually work freely. But his eco's a disaster, and oh, there's an overchop on the wood line. Capoch is pulling the camels out of position. Man, Capoch just came back from a vacation, dude. We had him scheduled for the day he got back. That vacation must have been some freaking training, dude. This is insane. And he loves these types of games. Any game where he could be insanely aggressive, he's going to love. But ACCM is still holding on. 55 Vils against 43. 2 town centers, and the castle will complete. So the job's not done for Capoch. What a game. Capoch will drop a TC here. He really needs wood. That's actually a good TC. It's a good move from him. He built a forward monastery here to heal up and get conversions, which is solid. I think this will be vulnerable eventually, but it's nice to hold this position for now. ACCM's eco will actually start to work efficiently now, which it hasn't been for a while. And Kipchak, I think, has got to be his unit of choice now. Camels for the meat shield, and then just Kipchaks. But knowing ACCM, he'll also want a third town center, maybe. He did one run around his opponent's base in Dark Age and hasn't been back there since. The camels use the choke point. The knight's kind of stuck in there. And ACCM will run away. Okay. So, 8 villager lead for ACCM. Making Kipchaks. Base is pretty well defended. Capoch's base is wide open. This game becomes very difficult for Capoch right now. He's going to have to do a lot of chasing. He's going to have to do a lot of reacting. And this gives ACCM all the initiative. So well played from Capoch to kill the eco he did so he doesn't just simply die here like a lot of people do against humans. But this is still not necessarily an easy situation. Now, some people don't like the Kipchak. They think the Kipchak's weak. They think the Kipchak is... You know, it's a flaw that it's bald. I don't know. It's a good unit in my opinion because it's really cheap and it does a lot of damage in these types of situations. Now, it's fragile compared to a Cav Archer, but they're speedy, they fire fast, and they're tricky to deal with, man. I told Dave he needs to be a Kipchak for Halloween, and he said no. Can you imagine? You think he could pull it off? Kipchaks come in. Kipchaks get the villager kills. And this is what I was talking about with the initiative. Now Capoch has to chase. Because there's no easy way for him to do damage. ACCM sees these knights over here with the outpost. So he'll be prepared for that. And kills another villager with the Kipchaks. So 73 vills for ACCM. 56 for Capoch. Still no bloodlines. Like, bloodlines... adds 20 HP onto a 40 HP unit. That's a crazy change in HP. It bothers me so much when people don't get bloodlines for this unit. Especially when I'm casting with Dave, because he hates them. Ballistics is on the way. Oh my god, the Kipchaks just got trapped! They just got trapped! What a play from Capoch! And so those Kipchaks pay the price for the snipes. But Ballistics is on the way, and the economy for Capoch is really flying right now compared to... for ACCM, it's flying compared to Capoch. He has 3 TCs. I think right now, Capoch needs to start thinking about Cav Archers. I don't know if you can justify it with your eco right now, because you're behind in some upgrades, but, like, going Knights long-term is going to be really tough. The thing is, he has 16 Knights already. And so it's just easier probably to stay on Knight, get the armor, and hope that's enough. Still, Bloodlines is not in for ACCM, which I assume he simply just forgot about. But how is Capoch supposed to break this line of defense? Double castle now. It's a lot of Knights from Capoch, man. Holy. And he sees the army, and he'll have full armor and full attack here. If you actually find an engagement, this could be really strong. But ACCM's got the mobility. Capoch blocks with the fishing ships. Where is ACCM going? ACCM has made some questionable decisions in where he goes with his military with these Kipchaks here. The Knights are a little bit slower, but they just have so much damage output. Well played from Capoch to hold. And now Capoch is also making Cav Archers. Also has a relic here, which, I mean, that's something. He's brought in 200 gold with that. University now for probably ballistics. Again, I think the game gets difficult because Capoch will not be able to do any type of counter damage. But if he gets to Imp, then he could build a castle and start to think about trebbing all this down. Outpost from ACCM on the right to get vision. Outpost from ACCM on the left to think about the stones and golds. Group of Kipchaks is in the back of Capoch's base. And Capoch is going to have to send all this army to go deal with that. There's more Kipchaks coming over to the right side now from ACCM. So just look at this from Capoch's perspective. He can't get into his opponent's base, and he's always got an army in the back that he's got to deal with. As he goes to chase down that army over here, the army is actually looped around this way from ACCM, and ACCM finds the stone. So many villagers will go down, and then he's also got the army advancing here, and you could just feel ACCM clawing his way back in this game. It was 14 vill kills from Capoch and 0 deaths, and now it's 14-11. He just can't break this guy. And now ACCM is free to expand. He's going to run over here, get some more stone, maybe. Crazy that Capoch has all 3 of his relics in that monastery. I really don't love that. I think that will be a donation to ACCM. Oh, man, and now ACCM denies the TC. ACCM can see him everywhere with these outposts. And that gold gets denied as well. Man, look how many Kipchaks he has. And look how many Kipchaks that don't have bloodlines are out. But like, this is what I say about the Kipchaks. They're cheap, they're attached to the human eco, and they produce very quickly for what they are. And even just chemistry coming in on these will be such a nice change. They're already doing a decent enough job against the Knights. This will be so difficult for Capoch to manage now. The bright side for Capoch is that ACCM wasn't on stone for the last 5 minutes. He will also complete this TC. And he's also making Cav Archers, which Magyar Cav Archers are the strongest Cav Archers in the game, in my opinion. There's Tatars, Japanese, Mongols. There's other good CA civs out there. Turks are actually pretty fun to play with too. But I think that +1 range and +1 attack is just so good. Especially if you can combine that with the cheap Hussars, can be such a strong play. Bloodlines came in, by the way. So now they're up to 60 HP. And we have chemistry on the way as well. Capoch is mainly making Cav Archers right now. And Cav Archers don't have the same firing speed, but they have more HP, and they'll have more range, and they'll have more attack. A trap would have been so nice for Capoch here, but ACCM is simply not allowing it. Little bit of a raid here from Capoch, probably thinking about how his opponent will expand. Now there's a raid here from ACCM. He's up to 35 Kipchaks. Still advancing forward. And still a lot for Capoch to chase as he gets Bracer, he completes Thumb Ring, and he's getting Parthian. Yeah, like with those upgrades, I think the CA start to be very, very tanky here. But you do wonder if ACCM's economy will be good enough to maybe go for something else as well then. Like just Kipchak Hussar, and then you just raid Capoch. Like Capoch's base is wide open then, right? With this economy, man, look at all these farms back here. Look at the upgrades as well that ACCM's been able to attain. 36 Kipchaks. The Knights are just going to melt. And these Kipchaks aren't even elite, guys. They're not even elite. They're not even fully kipped yet. Kipped, sorry. Should we... Is that what you say when you're checking to see if this unit is fully upgraded? Check if they're fully kipped. Kip check, get it? Haha. No, sorry. Capoch has got to be so annoyed having to chase down these Kipchaks all the time. He will find this group, so that should be a clear up. But now he's got another group that he needs to deal with, and this is not a group that he can deal with. He cannot afford the military numbers he needs, and his production's here as well. He will drop a castle here. He will drop a castle here to protect some of these areas. But now ACCM is dropping a castle here on the gold. So he'll steal that away from Capoch. He also needs to steal these relics, too. That's 3 relics, bro. Not that he needs the gold right now, but still. Can Capoch stabilize? Now that he's got the castles, he could maybe get to recurve bow. He doesn't really have the food income for heavy Cav Archer. But recurve bow is just wood and gold. I feel like the map's too open. There's always going to be an area where you don't have a TC or a castle. But these are Magyar Cav Archers we're talking about. There is hope. And so ACCM, maybe knowing it's going to always get a bit worse, will just take the fight. Actually be interested to see how this fight looks. Dude, like, that's a good fight for the Kipchaks. That's a really good fight for the Kipchaks. Oh, man, and this is a good fight for the Kipchaks as well. Capoch can't keep up. I thought Capoch had the perfect start against this. But the #1 pick from ACCM, a pick that he's used before, but a pick that no one else has used before on this map. Not in gold and not in platinum. This is brand new. Looks really tough to stop here, man. He's just booming so hard behind this. And there will go the relics for Capoch. Bit of a raid from Capoch on the left. This is the only area ACCM doesn't have protected. The warning signs are there, so he'll drop a castle there as well. And I honestly wouldn't mind for him to go Paladin right now. With that much food and gold, the safe play is to go Hussar. But clicking Cavalier would be... Well, I think it's pretty understandable here. Armor's coming in for Capoch that he didn't have before. So the Cav Archers can still get stronger. That means he still doesn't have recurve bow and heavy CA. So that's kind of a positive that these CA can get better. But the Kipchaks seem to just be doing way too much damage here. And there's also just too many of them. There's 18 CA and there's 40 Kipchaks. And the Kipchaks are faster as well. So Capoch can't even choose to run away. If he tries to, he'll just lose his units anyways. So he takes the fight. He's going to lose every unit. Look at the setup here from ACCM. Another castle. What is that? Castle number 5? Yeah, I think it's castle number 5. There was a treb here from ACCM. Kind of bothers me that Capoch never made a demo in this dock. Especially against Kipchaks. Like, the way the Kipchaks stack and how weak they are, it could be pretty strong. ACCM sniped the treb. Or sorry, Capoch sniped the treb. But he's got Kipchaks in his base again. Such a painful game for Capoch to deal with right now. This would rattle me a little bit headed into the future games. It's just so good. And there's just certain civs with certain players that just feel unbeatable. And with ACCM playing the humans, Tato playing the humans, sometimes it just feels like it's the most OP civ in the game. Crazy value. The Kipchaks are shredding again. Look at the difference in the firing speed, man. It fires so much faster. And now Cuman Mercenaries comes in as well for ACCM. So his stables will also spam faster. And so the Hussars will be coming out. ACCM will snag the relics. And so the Hussars will also spread their wings into different areas of Capoch's eco. Can someone remind me the cost of a Kipchak versus the cost of a Cav Archer? I'd just like a compare and contrast there, you know? Yeah, I've never been thinking, like, I'm not saying that the Kipchak's the best unit ever. I'm merely pushing back against people who say Kipchak is a bad unit, you know? Yeah, I think it's like 40 wood, 35 gold. It's a strong unit. It just, if the CA could be fully upgraded and have similar numbers, the CA would be superior, but it's going to be tough to get those upgrades if the raids are coming in as well. Okay, a Kipchak is 60 wood and 35 gold. It used to be much cheaper than that, right? And then a CA is 40 wood, 60 gold. Interesting. Okay, so it's low gold cost on the Kipchak and higher wood. Okay. Well, and then you have to produce the Kipchak out of a castle, which is the weakness of every unique unit. Right? So it's not like easy to get to like a CA. But it's the gold cost on the Cav Archers is crazy compared to this. And now we have Steppe Husbandry. Wait a second. Did he get the wrong unique tech before? Steppe Husbandry, I think, is the one that makes the Hussars produce faster. And then... oh, it doesn't tell me. Why am I forgetting? So Steppe Husbandry's faster Cav Archer and Hussar production. And then Cuman Mercenaries... Oh, yeah, you get the free Kipchaks out of your castles. You get 5 free Kipchaks for every castle you have. So he's got, like... He's got a bunch. Now, you have to produce them. It's not like First Crusade, where the units just pop out of your castles. Which is kind of inconsistent, if you think about it. But I don't think humans need any buffs. Capoch cannot believe this situation he's in right now. He's just been chasing the whole time. Anytime, he's like putting out fires in his base nonstop. It's so frustrating for him, I'm sure. Pretty soon, he's just going to be stuck in the middle of the map with nothing else. But hey, there's heavy Cav Archer. These Cav Archers are going to end the game with a lot of kills. They're probably not going to die at this point. But all of his eco is going to die. So, oh my god, did ACCM notice that? ACCM ran underneath the castle and sniped that monk and just backed away there. That's crazy. He won't give Capoch anything. Not even one relic. This is why I think you have to destroy the TCs fast against the humans. You have to kill Vils, but you have to destroy their boom. And that was one thing that Capoch lacked. More Hussars coming in here. 74 on food for ACCM. Endless amounts of map control. Here we have the engagement. So these don't have recurve bow. But they're basically fully upgraded generic CA against the Kipchaks. And there's a lot of them now. Capoch is winning that fight. But he's losing everything else. The Hussars are everywhere else. His Vil count is dropping. His castle may still fall. He's about to run out of stone. He might be able to save the castle. Well, he's out of stone. One more treb shot. Capoch repair! Buy the stone! No! He didn't have the stone. So the castle goes down anyways. His Vils are getting slaughtered. And ACCM's just fully popped, man. I mean, look at those resources. He has 60 units in queue. And he's at 200 pop. The Capoch is at 140 pop right now. Every win matters. It's $40 per win. $40 per win is also... When we say anytime ACCM is involved, like, the money goes a lot further in Vietnam, right? Whereas some people might be like, $40 is nothing compared to the overall prize pool. I don't know. The thing is, though, like, ACCM has always taken tournaments super seriously compared to most pros, regardless of the prize pool. He's signing up for A tiers and C tiers. Like, he plays tournaments all the time. And he never really brings a level below this. But obviously, the $40 per win goes a long way, and ACCM will love the format. Every win counts. You can get a head start, essentially, headed into the playoffs. Really dictate your future on who you go up against. And I think... Can someone remind me how many wins ACCM had the previous season? He was in first one of the seasons of TTL in the past. I think he might have been second in season 3. I forget. Man, Capoch is such a fighter right now. Capoch's whole civilization is being destroyed. And finally, he calls it. ACCM gets the job done. But, I mean, it looked like Capoch had done enough. Very rarely do you see 14 villagers get killed in that situation. I think we saw why it maybe is a risky strategy in some ways, because it's so open. But I think Capoch needed a siege workshop. As if he also had a siege workshop, the castle never goes up for ACCM. So all the night pressure and one mangonel maybe changes the game. And Capoch would have got the win, but ACCM starts off Titans League with a bang, dude. With a bang. Played super good. So we'll see what Capoch has in his home map now. That map kind of felt like it could be a home map for Capoch. I think he has Kilimanjaro, though. And ACCM, 340 kills, 297 deaths. The eco was ridiculous. So he had like a 10 villager lead when it was all said and done once he got his castle up. And they had the same amount of TCs. But the position was very different because ACCM was walled and had a castle defensively. And Capoch was wide open. And so all of Castle Age, Capoch was just chasing. And when you're reacting like that, you can't boom as efficiently. And that's what ACCM did. So the attacks were just basically set up for the boom. And then it's just textbook late game. Castles in every corner, getting all the relics, raiding your opponent to death. And not your typical jungle swamp strategy, but perfect for the humans. Well done from ACCM. All right, so again, you just to repeat this. I mean, the first game, ACCM had a great strat, but that was with his #1 pick. That might have been the strat he was coming into TTL prepared to use. He's got Malay here now, and then we've got Capoch, who's playing as the Armenians. I like both these civs a lot for this map. Feel like the Armenians were kind of, in some ways, designed for this map. I would say maybe Georgians a little bit more so, because they have a little bit more firepower, but mule carts in general should be great for this map because you run out of resources in all these little clumps of trees and you can move the mule carts around. But then the Armenians also have greater efficiency added to their mule cart upgrades. And then there's lots of relics on the map, and you can get relics pretty easily with Armenians. It's just super smooth. They've got great navy as well. Like, all the early stuff, all the eco, water, archers we typically see, great for Armenians. I think where Armenians can struggle, though, is their late game comp. Sometimes not having access to the best siege and not having good cavalry can be an issue for them. And then the Malay, they also don't really have the best cavalry here, so I expect a lot of infantry, archer, and navy. They're really good as well. And maybe it'll come down to the timings of the Malay. Will the Malay delay? And then back that up with faster uptimes? We'll see. But yeah, my prediction for this series, because I see someone asking, was 3-0 for ACCM. But it was, I think I would have maybe predicted 2-1 for ACCM if it was round 2 or round 3. But in Capoch's case, we were working with him schedule-wise, and he was away for a bit. He had a break before this. So I just kind of thought maybe Capoch comes in a little rusty. But I didn't see any rust from Capoch. Like, I would have not known. It was kind of similar with Dogal. Dogal's the other one we've been working with. Dogal also traveled, like, significantly further. I thought Dogal was going to get swept the first 2 rounds because he posted a picture of his laptop on a kitchen sink in a hotel room. Now, I think he trolled everyone a little bit. I don't think he actually played on top of a kitchen sink. I don't know. But, I mean, he played great against Vinch. Could have won 2 games in the first round. He won only 1. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, Capoch is bringing in the boar out here, and ACCM sees it. Dude, what are the odds that ACCM gets here at this time? ACCM could try and block this. Oh my god, dude, I'd be so annoyed if this boar goes back. ACCM, oh my god, he blocks it! No way, dude! Oh, poor Capoch. That's called right place at the right time there for ACCM. Just naturally showed up at the time Capoch was bringing in the boar. And so Capoch took a bit of damage on his scout for nothing, basically. And as a player, man, like, you're just so happy in that situation. You're like, oh, yeah, let's go. My scout's got more HP now. And it'll be the opposite for Capoch, obviously. Yeah, Dogal plays Tuesday in his second round. I think he plays against ACCM. Yeah, because we need second round from Dogal. We need second round from ACCM. And then I think it's Capoch Tato on Tuesday as well. Oh, Capoch is angry. He mad, dude. He's mad about that boar. He says, you will pay for that boar with blood. Oh, no, don't tell me he doesn't get the Vil kill now. If he doesn't get this Vil kill, oh my god, I'd be steaming, man. Oh, that scout's on 4 HP, and he's yet to find any reward. Yikes. Nice job there from ACCM to react. Capoch's scout has just not been able to get the job done. This scout needs to be fired and replaced with a new scout. Actually, Capoch, go for a stable. That way you could just delete this guy and make a replacement. That's what I do. Sometimes if my villagers are, like, stuck because of pathing, I delete them. I delete one of them because you need to send a message to the rest of the group that bad pathing and inefficiencies are not going to be allowed. If you just let them all exist, they're just going to keep pathing poorly. So you just got to delete one in the group, and trust me, everybody paths perfectly after that. That's what 10-year-old me did, but... Oh, God, now the scout goes down. All right, well, there we go. It's gone. It's gone. That's what not to do. The positive here for Capoch would be at least he did kind of scout everything. So he scouted the dock. He knows where the wood line is. He scouted the front of the base, and he knows where the TC is. Classic T90. Let's make a positive here out of every bad situation. Sometimes I should just be like, that sucks. Actually, I do that more than I used to. And honestly, sometimes it just calls for it, you know? There's a couple cows out here that ACCM could go get. That's what his scout seems to be searching for. And now, any funky business, any sneaky stuff that ACCM could go for, Capoch won't be able to spot immediately. He goes for a barracks. The spearman will probably go scout now. Mule cart's out here. And then we see a fire galley from Capoch's dock and a fire galley from ACCM's dock. And a stable now from ACCM. I like that personally. I think Scout Archers looked really good on this map if you can get to it. But against Armenians, it could be questionable. They've got pretty good spears, and they can even go pikemen in feudal age. Capoch sees that, knows it'll be scouts. Great scouting. And also sees Vils headed this way, so knows there will be some activity out here. So that's pretty much what you would want. Sometimes players will use the spears to kill the deer. Oh, we could kill the cow as well. Oh, the villagers don't want to allow that. Oh. Oh, we killed the cow. Okay. Scout over here from ACCM got hit by a spearman. Nice job from Capoch to protect. And I like Capoch's recovery here. Obviously, losing the scout wasn't great, but having all this intel now is important. Now the fire galleys meet each other here. This will get messy, man. This will get really messy. Easy map to get housed on. Speak of the devil, by the way. I think Capoch just got housed. On water, it's very easy to forget for just a second. Lose all your fish. I think this is the hardest map to play in the map pool. Maybe there's some arguments to be made for cross or something. But this is not a map that I expected to be picked that frequently. But there's been a lot of players who are like, if it's difficult, that's good for me. I like the crazy. Capoch is... His best performances are in situations where it doesn't have to be super crisp and clean. Where you're just out-grinding your opponent in messy situations. ACCM sees a lot of spears. Did he see its two ranges, though? He only saw one. That's big archer commitment from Capoch. And then Capoch backed away because his fire galleys were weak and ACCM still just being patient. Boar's coming in for Capoch. He's got a spear posted up everywhere he needs. ACCM scouts have done very little, honestly. And ACCM towers that, which is a smart move if you know the archers could come. And wouldn't you know it, archers are going this way. The thing is, like, archers, though, they can still just park right underneath that tower. And then you're next to the mill, too. So I think what's more important than a tower is actually a little bit of walling there, which we've seen a lot of. I don't hate the tower. A combination of the tower and a bit of your own army would be good. But it almost feels like both players are wondering where the other is right now. Town watch now for Capoch, so he'll get to see any army that might come in. And now ACCM is looking, he's thinking, he's looking, and he senses and he sees it. Crazy scouting. As a caster, do you prefer hard to play or easy to play maps, D90? I like strategically diverse maps. So maps with lots of options I think are really good for the game. So I guess that those are maps that are hard to play. This is a map that has lots of options, so... And yeah, the tower and the skirms and everything from ACCM is just enough to kill off the army, and Capoch does no damage there. Beautiful defense from Capoch. I think Capoch lost a villager to this boar. Yeah, this boar, you could see, killed a vill. I don't know if he's aware of that. And oh man, he's got archers here. Archers and skirms running through. ACCM quickly drops a gate, brings back some skirms, drops some houses. They're still looking on water. Capoch got some good kills there. A nice defense there from ACCM. Man, these walls are so important. Everyone who plays this map has to wall to the shoreline. And most players do. But I wonder, was Capoch watching a lot of games compared to others? Was he able to train? If he was away for a week, he's probably still catching up to the meta a little bit. And that's just an element that makes life so easy. ACCM can freely just cross over here now. I feel like you should eliminate that possibility. Also, Capoch was not a player who played in Hidden Cup 5. He played in the qualifier, but he wasn't in the main event. And this was debuted in that main event. ACCM played that crazy game where he was Georgians on this map against Goths, I think. Anyways, I mean, ACCM was like the big standout in that tournament. And no one expected that he had done what he accomplished in that tournament. And the one game went on to the final tree, right? And my point is he had other tournaments to play this map. There's just those small details. Having said all of that, look at the res collected. It's like so close. KD super close. And when it's close, advantage to the Malay. Because they just advance up so much faster here. So what's the choice here from ACCM? You don't have a lot of things you can really choose to do. Because you'll have limited resources. Obviously, you'd love to do TCs, archers, navy. There is an argument to maybe go for War Galley and just try and win water. There's also an argument to upgrade your archers. There's also an argument for TCs. I don't really know. It kind of feels like he's going to go for Bodcanero and not get War Galley, but he might do both eventually. Like, water... I mean, both are needed. It's hard for me to say. Both are needed. Capoch has a much bigger archer army than ACCM is expecting, by the way. ACCM thinks that he's fine over here. But if Capoch is sneaky enough, especially if ACCM goes to TC right here or something right now, which he may do, this army from Capoch could be really valuable. And not the biggest archer army for ACCM. That army seems to be going to cross over here. And Spearman just got sniped. Army's getting through. And this is so good for Capoch. Great job from him to come back to find some damage. The last time he showed up here, he lost everything. And he could have just easily thought that it wasn't worth his time. That's some great damage with that army. And then on water, he's still doing a decent enough job. This is close. Yeah, this is good. That's really good for Capoch. That's amazing for Capoch. And his ranged army is also right here. So, yeah, he's up against crossbow. Yeah, it's Bodkin. Yeah, that's not great. But, I mean, he should be able to... Well, it's not going to be easy. I think he can just dive. You'll lose some units, but you can kill this off. Yeah, just run straight at it. Maybe that's not the play. That's fine. If that's a bigger army from ACCM, that's game over. Capoch clears it up. Capoch still has an army to work with. Capoch has a navy to work with. And what a great job from him. Still just one town center from ACCM. He's very heavy on stone. I don't think that was initially planned for a castle. I think it just... He's had vills on stone, so that's just happening naturally. Upgrades are coming in for Capoch. I like how many farms Capoch has. I like how he's always moving out with a new army in a different spot. This army advances forward. This army loops around. I don't love ACCM's position at the moment. But typical, anytime I say that with ACCM, he immediately finds a moment, which is very good. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Well, I thought he was about to run into the crossbows. Ooh, he'll see this with Town Watch. So he could send some skirms to deal with that. This is hilarious. It's so crazy how the crossbows are right there. Okay, now he moves forward, and now he sees them. But Capoch should have seen the skirms, and now Capoch can get out of here. He just runs all the way back. Second TC for Capoch. Second TC for ACCM. The fire galleys go in for ACCM. I really don't think fish are a big factor right now. The bigger factor is going to be Navy control for the crossings. But I don't think who has fishing ships is a big factor now. Capoch runs away this way, away from the skirms. He should be able to get home. There's no ballistics yet. But ACCM stone count. Capoch's stone count. Pretty wild right now. What do you think? Where do you think we see this castle? So many decisions to make. I think a castle here wouldn't be bad. It's safe. Makes life easy for you. You can make karambits. Oh, whoa, ACCM, he trapped this, but he just missed the crossbows. Oh, man, he had it set up. But there's too much going on right now. The crossbows were right next to that gate when the gate was placed, but ACCM couldn't find the kills. Here go the skirms. I'm a little bit surprised that Capoch has not gone for siege here. And he's about to build a castle. His vills are moving like they're going to build it forward. There's the castle from ACCM. Very safe. And what a close game. Crossbows are back again. What? These are some like sneaky crossbows, man. We might see a demo come over for these skirms pretty soon. Capoch. I love the energy, my friend. I love the energy, but there's information that you just don't know. No, back up, back up, back up. Abort. 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 Dude. Capoch. Get out of here. Get out of here, my friend. Oh, my God. He's so distracted. He's looking at water. He's looking over here. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, crap. Ballistics is in. There's army here. Oh, this is horrible. The idea was decent, but I didn't have the army support. Capoch didn't know his opponent already had the castle. He was too distracted. He is getting kills over here, but this is painful. I don't know if he can even complete a castle now. The karambits are a pretty big deal. The skirms and the crossbows have ballistics. He doesn't have much of an army here. ACCM will bring the skirms back to deal with this. Temporary denial of the TC. Here we go. Oh, man. There were just so many things for Capoch to look at in that moment. Those were some heavy losses. Otherwise, it was a fairly close game. Castle's at 65%. It's at 75% now. It will go up, I think. But it was costly. Yeah, castle will complete. Okay, I mean, we've seen worse situations with castles. He's still on 3 TCs. He's got a relic. And now Composite Bowman might be decent here against skirms and Karambit Warriors. Those are some good moments for ACCM. And like, again, guys, if Capoch wasn't looking there, it's because he was managing everything else, right? So, really easy to be like, why don't you just do that thing? But we're casting, and I think every one of you know that if you load up this game and try and play, you're going to be reminded very quickly, especially if you rewatch your own games, how difficult this game can be. But I just want to go to bat for Capoch there. My guess is it seems like he had a much bigger water focus. And then he was probably like, I'm killing him here. So he was looking at both of those things. True, but it's so easy to see imperfect play as a viewer. Yeah, I know. Which is why I just remind you, that's all. I'm not saying that people can't react to, you know, mistakes and crazy stuff like that, but I think it's important to put that reminder out every now and then. Yeah, I don't think ACCM will really care about water too much. At this point, he's got really nice land control. But maybe it's worth coming back on water now. You're so ahead on, like, in the land situation now. You're running around with Karambits. I think getting War Galley and coming back on water could be really nice here. Because just controlling this crossing is so valuable long term. And having to rebuild docks would be pretty annoying here. think we could see a forward castle from ACCM soon. He's going to drop it there. He's losing his karambits. Oh, man. Those karambits just got shredded. I think he was landing demos there on those ships. But 90 eco for ACCM. Only 400 more res collected. I think a Trebor over here could be important, and then a Trebor in the north could be important. So imp is everything right now. I think the biggest thing that ACCM needs to do right now is actually stonewall. Stonewall from the shoreline to the wood line and towards the castle. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no! Capoch! He got hit with the demo down here or something, or was adding the TC. And half a second too late to reacting, and his crossbows have gone down. That's why you get the position, folks. Beautiful play there from ACCM. He saw it. He knew. That was an attack round right there. Like, this has been a competitive series from Capoch, but it definitely has the feeling that ACCM's just slightly ahead every time I'm watching it. Now, I thought ACCM was dead at points of the previous game. But 51 seconds of TC idle time. Super smooth play. Got the castles up a little bit faster. Coming back onto water now seems to be the plan. And Capoch needs to somehow win an imp race against the Malay. And I feel like every time we cast Malay, the opponent clicks up to imp. The opponent gets a good position. They click up to imp before Malay. And then the Malay are like, see ya. And I'll beat you there. And that's what'll happen. Now, if you get to an army of composite bowmen and champions with Armenians, I'm pretty sure Malay just die. Like, Malay, I don't know what they would make against that. I don't know if they get heavy Scorpion. I guess technically heavy Scorpion could work really well. But their typical play of archers and bombard cannons wouldn't work there. Where's the siege? Okay, they could try heavy Scorpions. And crossbows loop around to find some kills. Capoch has skirms around. Yeah, like the Malay elephants are really strong. And they're really cheap as well. But 100 HP champions with composite bowmen that shred armor. Remember, the comp is also really cheap. I think it could work. But I don't know. Elephants are always insane. Still, there will be the occasional engagement on water. And are these harbors now? Oh, wow. ACCM actually got the dock tech. So as he loses his crossbows, his docks actually fire arrows. And he's dropping a dock on ACCM's, on Capoch's crossing here. Focus, guys. That's about how I thought it was going to go. That's why controlling the water is still important, because that could happen on more expensive units. And, oh man, now we've got the first Treb coming out from ACCM. He's dropping a castle. He doesn't really have army here. Like, I get the idea to force the issue with the Trebor, but you still need more skirms here, my friend. Bit of an army there from Capoch just passing. Bit of an army from there from ACCM just passing. And the Mangonel shot hits. But Capoch will bring his own Mangonel. There's not many villagers building. I'm not sure this castle goes up for ACCM. He's also very low on gold at the moment. I think he needs to delete that. And he may need to back away with his Treb as well. Mangonel's so weak. It goes down. Capoch will hold. Capoch has a population lead right now. And the trebuchet for ACCM is unprotected. Oh, Capoch needs to attack that with the skirms and crossbows. You need to get that kill. That's so important here. Ah, he's not quite able to. Both players have some obstructions on the crossings. ACCM needs to delete that. And he does. Okay, so he gets some stone back. Now, Armenians can't make bombard cannons, which is one of the weakest points of the game for them now. So early imp, this is where Malay can shine because they do get that. And the Trebs for Capoch are still doing the job, though. Trebs are not 100% accurate, but those trebuchets seem like it. And we'll see if the Trebs stay alive, though. ACCM knows that Capoch is trying to target that bombard cannon. He needs more bombard cannons. He needs more skirms. He needs more ranged army. There's also trebuchets here. So it's a defensive Treb from Capoch there as well. Man, Capoch has really stepped up his macro over the last few moments. Look at the eco setup. It's much better than it was. He was behind pretty massively at a certain point. Oh, when the Trebs kill the cannon. Also noticing there's not a lot of gold saturation for ACCM. He's going to run out of this gold, and he's not actually actively mining a ton of the other golds. Hard to focus on that in these moments. The bombard cannons are not in a very high number, and the trebuchets for Capoch continue to do the job. What? What? How did the bombard cannon survive? Sometimes I just don't fully understand that. This trebuchet survived, though. Guys, Capoch is starting to get infantry techs. He's working his way towards those 100 HP champions. If he can get the Ferreters tech, this composition could be insane. And what a hold from him. His eco upgrade, both eco upgrades for both of them are fantastic. Still bringing the occasional fire galley and the occasional demo here. I think Capoch actually has the time for it. Let's see if he can get... Let's see if he can be patient. Because the thing is, one wave of champions can kill all of this. And if you kill all of this, your Trebs take out the castle. It snowballs immediately. And it becomes very difficult for ACCM to easily stabilize there. Oh, man, there's still so much happening over here. There's a castle from ACCM. There's a Treb. There's a cannon. Oh, man, Capoch is losing some ground over here. And he's losing focus. And he's losing Trebs. He only lost... I don't think he lost any, actually. And ACCM lost a bombard cannon. There's the barracks. More food ecos needed. We even have a Drawman now from Capoch to use the water control. But his castle in the middle goes down. Okay, so all of this eco is exposed. He still doesn't have champion in. He still doesn't have Ferreters. The best thing you can do if ACCM is probably elephants, but it doesn't feel supernatural right now. So I think just Arbalest and some Karambits to hold from the champions is your best play. And as long as you hold from that, you can actually, you know, sort out your next options. He really would want more castles there. But this is pretty crazy attack, actually. We keep thinking this is the side attack, but this is the main thing now. And the Capoch backs away over here. And this is no joke. Capoch has, like, I think 30 or 40 villagers here. Some are inside the TC and everything else is outside. Oh, man. Capoch just not able to get the army mass up, trying to get this champion tech switch in. And now ACCM is able to do so much. A defensive castle, an offensive castle. He's pushing this castle. Capoch is falling apart. And now here's the champion. So it took him some time. Now the chunky champions are here. He does have barracks here as well. He may be able to hold this position somewhat. He can't really push past the castles, but still. Man, but now he's lost this castle. Yeah, I still think as long as he keeps these Trebs alive, he can actually fully wipe this army and start to take down a couple castles. These champions are crazy strong. You could even run past these castles into ACCM's eco. Let's see. I mean, I would say now ACCM could consider going elephants. Because you can give up a castle or two and still have a pretty good position. Those champions are the meat shield that Capoch needs to protect the Trebs. But don't use the Trebs yet, Capoch. You didn't clear it yet. Oh, this hurts so much. You have to win the fight, then go for the castle, and it was not it. That was a great fight for ACCM. The ARB mix worked out. There were only like 8 champions in the front. Now Capoch is bringing the champions this way to raid. But he just doesn't have the time to think about what he can do here. He's hoping to reclaim the relics. That probably won't happen. We'll see. Warrior Priest also has more HP because of the tech. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, ACCM setup is so good. Can always raid here again. He's got so many castles. Only thing that could be tough is water control. There are some units out there. It's kind of wild. Like, Capoch is really saving up now. He sold off a lot of resources to get gold. He's not actually actively mining any gold right now. Like, he's at least waiting till he has a lot of these things. ACCM's making a demo? How does a demo do against 100 HP champions? A feudal demo. Well, we won't know. ACCM was a little too late. All right, champions and skirms. And champions will also get some raids in here. Oh, man, the demo actually took out one of the Dramans. See, this is where maybe if you had the Trebs right there, you could continue to fight and take out the castle. It just seems so tough. Because Karambits could spam so quickly. Eventually, the champions just die. They're so slow. And that lack of mobility is an issue for them. Look at the gold that ACCM is banking right now. Capoch, no gold. 0 gold and 0 relics right now. He can't reclaim his relics either. ACCM does lose a lot of vills to this raid. But he's getting War Galley, and I think he got Shipwright as well. Look at him making the docks here, too. So, you know you're pretty wealthy if you could lose 20 vills and then get Shipwright. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, Capoch. All right, Capoch. Take it! He wants to die! Just so much to focus on right now. And these composite bowmen killed 13 vills themselves. They did a pretty good job. I mean, those raids have done a lot. This has been a lot of multitasking involved. And it's not like it's like 80 on food or anything for ACCM. Still only like 40 or 50. But there's the stables now. That's what I kept waiting for this whole time. Is once this composition gets worried, you do have the elephants to switch to. The Karambit warriors. The termites are in Capoch's eco again. This is still a healthy portion of Capoch's eco. And these vills need champions. He's actually fully popped. He's a 200 pop, so he can't produce defense here. But I guess that's a reason to toss some units in over here. Castle from Capoch. The only one he has to make trebs. That castle might go down, but he will snipe the bombard cannons, and he will keep his treb alive, and he'll push back the castle. He's got no gold, but the only way to get it is to take the castle down, right? This is what Capoch has been waiting for. This is horrible. This is painful. Also, hello, mule carts. And ACCM's castle is probably going to fall. It's still only 1 treb, though. The fact that it's 1 treb makes me think ACCM has a chance. He needs to buy the stone. ACCM's out of gold right now. How much gold is actually left? Only 10k. Oh, man, but he buys the stone. He'll snipe the treb. ACCM, man. Oh, he just never dies. You can't kill him. In the first game as well. Right when you think you've got him, you don't. And now the elephants come in. Oh, dude. I feel like I should be playing an epic movie soundtrack as these elephants stampede their way towards the skirms. Yep, you're not stopping those boys. You know what's stronger than a 100 HP champion? A 300 HP elephant. And the Chonkers force Capoch to tap out. What a great game from ACCM. What a start to Titans League. Again, I've been really impressed with Capoch's play. I think that he's been really tip-top shape. He did some good damage in this game to ACCM. Made ACCM fight. But both games kind of have that one moment I look back to and inevitably say, maybe if things would have gone slightly different here, he could have taken it. A big one for me here was that castle. The castle forward, I forget what time that was. Yeah, this whole situation was not great. I love the idea because the energy is like, castle drop his face, stop him from booming and win the game. But unfortunately, ACCM already had the castle there. At this stage, populations are super even. Setup is actually a bit better for Capoch. He's on 3 town centers. He's got the better water control. I think if he just goes defensive castle there and booms, maybe he ends up in a better situation in late game. Maybe he doesn't lose as much ground in the middle of this game. And that's something we look back at. But it was really competitive. Now I'll say the same thing I've been saying every single time. You can't get swept in this. You can't get swept, especially in this group. So far in this group, every other series that has happened in round 1 and round 2 has been a 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. So other players have been able to avoid the sweeps. If Capoch can get 1 win, he'll be feeling much better about the situation. But getting swept here could be tough. Great game. Game 3, and we have Tatars versus the Berbers. Kilimanjaro, very open map, but it's kind of funny. I think with these two, it's a very open map, but they're going to find ways to make it a closed map, at least for the early game. Because usually what happens is there's lots of scouts, lots of aggression. And since you do spawn near the edge of the map, your potential to wall to the edge to stay safe is still there. Not safe enough to go fast castle by any means, because you just don't have a lot of res here, and you need to be fighting for some map control. But usually it's all about fighting for this hill. I think Capoch has picked a good civ for this. The Tatars do more damage when fighting on top of hills. Doesn't matter how big the hill is. So if it's just that tiny little slant, the Tatars benefit. And then you also get more food from your sheep on a map where you have a lot of food for what you're going to do. So I really like the play. We've also seen lots of camels on this map, which is great for both civs. We've also seen a lot of cav archers on this map, which is good for the Tatars. But indirectly good for the Berbers, because if the Berbers can get to camel archer, that's like insane against everything that Tatars could do. So easier said than done, though. Thank you to Greek. I'm pregnant for the Prime. Man, the usernames today have been something else, huh? Thank you. I don't care what your username is. I'll read it. Thank you, Axwiz, for the Prime sub. Thank you, Ramaki, for the 13 months. Rooting for Capoch, 666. Past logo, welcome back. So, knock on wood here, but it does seem like the stream's been pretty good ever since I changed the Ethernet cable. So, I'll still probably switch everything out, but I'm glad we moved from the drops at the start of the stream, man. Thank you, everybody. What's up, Where Bean? Glad you're enjoying Season 4 so far. I've been enjoying it so far as well. I think Capoch needs to be really aggressive with numbers here, and he needs to fight the tendency to drop TCs if it's not in the middle. Like, there's really no good TC spot for a wood line. Maybe you could move all the way over here. But, this is a map where I've seen people who opt for military get tons of value. Because if the opponent booms, they're going to be booming without any of this middle wood, any of the middle control, and life just gets so difficult. It's so barren over here, dude. This is just like a dry swamp area. I probably could find a better way to describe it, but tiny little detail, which these things are just satisfying to me. There's always these 2 shorefish. But there's also the berries, so you could mill the berries, but villagers on shorefish is a little bit faster. So you just take that, and you can still achieve a pretty fast feudal time, even though there's 1 elephant on the map. Yo, Wololo, what's up? Thank you for, now the 6 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you. Leaker Feetson says, is T90 having a baby? No. No, and I really hope not. Why are you asking that? What did I say? Someone said T90 pregnant confirmed. What did I say? Did I say something that could have been taken the wrong way? I don't get it. Oh, the username. So I thanked the sub Greek I'm pregnant. Oh, okay, I forgot about that. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I completely forgotten already. Not about the sub. Thank you very much. The support's much appreciated, but I forgot that I said the name. So I had someone email me once and say that they named their child after me. They're like, we bonded in our relationship over watching your streams and your videos through COVID. And we're naming our son Tristan. Which, I thought that was very kind. I then informed them that the name Tristan translates into sad. It's based on the word triste, or, it depends on the language. So I said, well done damning your kid to a life of sadness, like my parents did to me. But they didn't seem to think that was that funny for some reason, so. The scout's here from Capoch. He finds ACCM. And it's usually a scout opening, so there's the stable. All right, sorry, there's the barracks, and then it'll be a stable. Why even say that? I didn't actually tell them that. That part was silent. But, like, okay, so I've said this before, but I remember being in school, and we were at a very young age. You're at an age where you're not really learning a lot, right? It's more about social skills. And so our teacher had a book that had the meanings behind people's names. And so we were going around the class, and we were looking up our names to look up what our names were based on. Because, you're a kid. You don't know that sometimes names are based on certain things. And as ACCM attacks the Ville and backs away, like my friend's name meant, like, bold and courageous. And the other guy's name, I don't know what it meant. We'll make it up. And it's just, like, super hot and attractive. Then I look up my name. I'm like, ooh, I didn't know names had meaning. It's like sad, depressed, despair. I'm like, what the hell? So I don't know how old I was. I go home to my parents. I'm like, Mom and Dad, you named me sad. Did you know you named me sad? They're like, no, we didn't look it up. And oh man, ACCM loses his scout. Wow, ACCM is very sad now. That was sloppy. So yeah, that explains why I had such struggles with depression now. I think it had everything to do with the name. Nothing to do with brain chemistry. So, walls coming up for ACCM. And that's what he was focusing on. He was placing so many walls, he lost his scout. That's what every Arabia player wishes would happen more frequently. We wish the wallers would lose their scouts because they're distracted. Capoch should be walled up as well. ACCM scouts just kind of camping the openings for now. But he is walling, including the stone. He's not walling around the stone, but he could be sneaky and try and take that, maybe. His gold isn't great against Cav archers. The other gold's also outside of his walls. So, I mean, he's walling, but he's not really protecting a lot here. But he's just playing super safe, so. Someone says you were a late child, right? Were you unplanned? Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that aspect. Yes. My parents had me when my dad was 40 and my mom was 38. And I was definitely not planned. So maybe they were sad that they were having to have another child at that age. And that's why they came to the conclusion. To name me sad. I don't know. I mean, when I asked my mom, I said, Mom, like when I figured out how to do math, right? I realized that my brother was 11 years older than me and my sister was 8 years older than me. And I was like, this is weird. That's a really big gap. All my other friends and their siblings are really close in age. So I asked my mom, I said, Mom, was I planned? And she said, you were all part of God's plan. And she said it with a smile and she left it at that. And I'm like, no, but like, did you want me? Was I a mistake? She's like, no, God planned it. There's no mistakes with God. And I'm like, okay. And then when I was older, I asked my dad. My dad said that I was very much surprised. My dad said, what did he say? Oh, he said that when my mom said that she was pregnant, he said, you're kidding, right? So that's always nice. Named after sad. Not part of the plans. And then to make it worse, and sorry we're digressing a little bit, but what else am I going to talk about? They're going full wall. Another aspect. So like, by the time when I was born, my brother was 11, my sister was 8. They'd already lived like such a long life at that point. And then like the excitement over having children was gone. So all the baby photos, all the stuff you do with your first kids wasn't a priority for later siblings. So I remember looking to like look for my baby photos, and I've got this one box. My brother's got like 8 boxes. So there's like all these boxes of milestones and stuff that my siblings did. But then, you know, they'd already had kids by the time I was hitting milestones. They're like, we don't really need to document that. There's nothing for me. Nothing. Complete scam, dude. Complete scam. Very, very, very triste. Yep. All right, so we might see some sneaky genitors. We might. This, like, think about it. ACCM sees there's 2 archers here. His opponent's probably going to try cav archers. You have to go genitors here, right? I just wonder if you go 1 range or if you go 2 stables. So Berbers, they have a mounted skirm, and you can only make them in Castle Age, but I think that's going to be the play here. Genitors and boom, maybe. I don't know. A scout from Capoch will get the snipe. Even adds another scout here. And he's hiding his ranges here, so. Balpy says, so you then decided to go to Twitch to document your whole life? I mean, I'm not documenting my whole life here. It's much cheaper to just stream on Twitch than to go pay for therapy, you know? So it's just we're all getting better together here. All right? How many trees are back here for ACCM? Okay, so 4,000 wood, which seems like a lot, but that's going to run dry pretty quickly when you're making genitors and dropping TCs. But everybody knows it's going to be cav archers from the Tatars. Will Genitor be a good counter here? Man, okay, small thing. I think a big... No, back up. Big thing here. I think Capoch could use this time to go forward and siege workshop, right? Like, if this was MBL, MBL would say, I use the first 2 cav archers to protect my vill. I go siege on the hill. Wow, that rhymed, but I think he might try it, but he's trying to get ballistics as well. Okay, ACCM just spotted the first cav archer, and here's our first genitor. So this should be... Yeah, this is obvious now for Capoch. That's actually just fine. To lose those 2 archers to get that knowledge is great. And still seems like the plan is the siege workshop. So I like this. I'm not really sure I love ballistics against the Genitor, but I like the thought to do both if you can afford it. And ACCM, he's going for ballistics, but 2 TCs. It's a slight vill lead. It's a good point. Someone says, why even try cav archers? I mean, it's still so good. You get thumb ring, you're fighting on hills. It feels very unnatural to play into anything else here. Then if you just go, what, knights? And then you're into Berbers, and Berbers can go camels? It's not easy. So I don't mind the CA with a couple knights, with some siege. Like, Genitors really are just so bad against everything that's not a cav archer or an archer. Capoch still in his walls. He sold his stone, didn't he? Wow, okay, so he sold his stone. Thing is, if ACCM is patient, ACCM can just avoid the siege and just run circles around the CA. Like, this is looking kind of rough already. Look at these Genitors go. They dive in. They'll clean up the CA. Well, maybe it's not so bad for Capoch. But he'll know his opponent has ballistics now. And now you need a healthy cav archer number to protect the siege, because otherwise your opponent can make knights. And down goes the Genitor. Yeah, Berbers are a great matchup against Tatars. And I think it was ACCM planning well with his Civ and his draft. He looked at the draft from his opponent, and he said, oh, I know what he's going to go for. The scout will go down. Or not. But here comes the pressure from Capoch. We've seen a lot of games get decided over who controls the middle area. Capoch's build-up right now is in that middle area. He's making knights. He's making siege. And ACCM, oh my god. So he's making a TC over here. Typical sneaky ACCM. That actually got spotted by Capoch. Wow. I wonder if Capoch will send army over. Capoch snipes a Vil. That's our first Vil kill of the game. And here come more Vils from ACCM. Sneaky, dude. He's sneaking for that gold because he can't take gold right now. He has no gold. Oh, and he's getting hit on wood as well. ACCM cannot keep up. And now the army is here, so he has to abandon the TC idea, and Capoch will find more Vil kills. This is so good for Capoch. This is a great fight for Capoch. This is an amazing fight for Capoch, but I think the Janitors could kill the Cav Archers now. Yeah, the Janitors are here. They're here to clean up, and those CA should all disappear. With ballistics? Huh? Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe not. I think husbandry is needed right now. ACCM doesn't have husbandry, so he's way slower than those Cav Archers, and credit to Capoch. Capoch has done a really good job forcing the issue, applying pressure, and punishing a little bit. The main thing, again, I'm thinking is, will he boom, though? Against ACCM, you have to have eco as well. Also, ACCM's on stone. Big shot there from him. But Capoch should be able to dive and kill that. He did before. He'll do it again. Nice job. Janitors show up. Lion goes down. It's just really tough to engage with these Janitors with this situation. You can do that. But the Knights in the siege you have to respect as well. Siege shot from ACCM, but he loses his Mangonel again. He did get this TC up on gold. This TC foundation's still just sitting there, so he really hasn't been able to fully focus. And he wants a castle, but he's still not really in a great spot. And guys, he's running out of wood. He is running out of trees in his base. This is getting bad. Yet every other series in this group has been a 2-1 so far. We haven't had a single 3-0. And Capoch is hoping to keep that consistent for us. He soon could push down this siege workshop. ACCM's Janitors still have been hoping to pick off reinforcements. They cannot seem to find the engagements. But a 20 villager lead for ACCM. Capoch is using everything in him to apply this pressure. I don't know if he'll be able to boom at the same time. Mangonel pops out. Gets the kill. And the Mangonel will go down. But that 1-for-1 trade is enough, I guess, for ACCM. Still doesn't have full armor on the Janitors either. That's a lot of Cav Archers. What a messy game. But still 3 TCs for ACCM. The Great Escape happens. Can he get to this TC and complete it? They'll actually place it on the stone. So wood and stone will be gained there. More siege hops out. Capoch notices it. Capoch will snipe it again. I think Capoch is going to go for a castle. Look at this. He's got 20 on stone. This is going to be for a forward castle. Oh, and the Knights are here. But ACCM spots the fact the Knights are there and will quick wall that. That's a crazy save. It's also really well played from Capoch to focus over there. That's not easy to do. Couple Vils go down. TC will go up, though. I'd be kind of tempted to bring my siege this way now. ACCM is going to drop a castle eventually and get the Camel Archers. What a crazy game. 87 Vils against 60. But ACCM just does not have an army to engage against us right now. Finally, a second TC for Capoch. What's ACCM's plan? More villagers getting spotted by Knights. These villagers are gonna... Are they gonna run to the middle? No, he's gonna castle here. Ooh. Well, that makes sense to me. But can Capoch deny that? He can't with the siege, because the TC is there. A couple Genitors hop out. Yeah, just all delay tactics from ACCM. And his castle will give him access to camel archers. I don't know what happened here, but obviously stressful times for ACCM. Okay, so what does Capoch do now? You can't push the TC anymore. I think you have to push this TC. Yeah. You always push from the hill. You never leave the middle area now. And here he comes. Capoch is bringing 14 villagers and a sheep to drop this castle. And ACCM has to know. He definitely knows, right? Well, actually, he's dropping the tower so he doesn't get siege pushed there. He is really heavy on stone. Like, ACCM's definitely going to go for another castle. Ooh, okay. I think ACCM, if he spots the vills, will build his own castle here. But he doesn't see it. He doesn't see them. He doesn't see them. He knows the army's on the way. He has to know. There's the castle. You can't build your own castle. You can't. If the siege is going to be here soon, you just run, I think. Ah! Well, the siege is stuck. Capoch's castle will go up. ACCM's castle might go up. This castle's producing camel archers. Now we have Capoch coming to the hill. Not my favorite position ever. There's stone and gold you could take, but there's a lot to look at right now. The siege and the Genitors are here from ACCM. But Capoch's castle will complete. ACCM's lost so many vills this game. He's lost so much here. He's not looking right now. He's losing again and again, more and more vills. But that's his second castle to produce camel archers. He somehow still has some access to gold. Maybe he could even make rams here. So now where does Capoch push? I feel like what's going to happen is Capoch is going to push this corner and ACCM is going to bring his camel archers and a bunch of vills to the middle and drop a castle. That's what I feel is the natural progression right now. Let's see. There's no army here anymore for Capoch. But this army here has done so much damage. So much idle time for ACCM. Camel archers are out, though. Vills are there. I think Capoch might see that. It's hard for him to focus. Okay, Capoch will drop a castle here. Interesting. He has to protect the TC. I think he's worried. Yeah, the vills over here from ACCM are leaving. ACCM may need to outpost the north. And ACCM is imping? Huh? How is he imping right now? Half his eco has been destroyed. He's been in a state of absolute despair. That's crazy that he's able to do that. And I'll kill a mangonel. He has some army here to defend. And Capoch, who is now getting raided by camel archers, but he should be okay. So if ACCM can get imp, he can make trebs. If he can make trebs, he could take down this castle. But he has no access to stone right now. Can he see some? There's some. I think he'll immediately start to outpost the north to find more stones and golds and wood lines. Capoch is really trying to catch up economically, and he's slowly losing control over this game, it feels. Oh my god, he's gonna drop a castle there! Let's go! Let's go! I don't know if it's worth it, but he needs some crazy, crazy plays right now. And there he goes. Big raid! Big raid! He's killing all the vills. He'll complete his castle on the stone and the gold. That's an issue for ACCM. He does not have a lot of stone and gold right now. He doesn't have a lot of wood that he could take right now. Yeah, like, look at these vills. He's scouting, though. He's looking for more wood. He's also being pushed over here. Wow, and well played from Capoch. Capoch actually micros that, which is crazy. Oh, Capoch! Capoch, no! Capoch, no! He thought it was going to complete! No, he thought it was going to complete! And ACCM had some army there. I mean, maybe it will still complete, but now do you even want to complete it if you see your opponent's an imp? There's wood and gold here for ACCM. Here comes Capoch with the Vills. And there's some wood and stone here for ACCM. 23 camel archers, by the way. Here come the Vills. They're all so weak. More Vills are coming, though. Ah, man, that's a painful doubt right there. And still no imp upgrades on the camel archers, but I think that's fine. That's a good fight for ACCM. He's also dropping towers in a panic. That'll help. He needs trebs from both his castles. And Capoch needs to somehow get up to imp. But he's produced a lot of skirms here. He was late on eco. It's looking much better now. But this is going to be tough. How does ACCM do this, man? The theme for me has been, no matter what happens, ACCM is always going to have a fighting chance. So all those memes, all the jokes when ACCM is down 5k score and everyone's like, ACCM never resigns. It's because he always believes and he always has an idea in his mind what he can do to come back. In this game, it was just boom and stabilize nonstop. It was not easy. But, I mean, he's holding on here. The towers will help against these skirms. Here, this Treb will take down Capoch's castle. Here, this Treb will take down Capoch's castle. Capoch will have only the castle in the middle soon. And Capoch has to produce skirms to stop these camel archers. But they're imp camel archers. The skirms need crazy numbers to hold against that. The population's even. But the position is just not anymore. Like, ACCM's done an incredible job. 3 out of his 4 TCs were being sieged by mangonels this game. Nice raids from Capoch, though. Good finds. Very good finds. Nice raids here from ACCM as well. The skirms have just been killing Vills. I mean, why not? But castle goes down here. And castle falls here. So now the castles from ACCM can fully focus on camel archer production. Capoch cannot allow his opponent to get to the hill now. You have to send everything you can to just hold that hill. He's got 25 skirms. That's good skirm count. ACCM's food eco is not pretty right now. He's only 17. Lots of idols. 5 hours of villager idle time for ACCM this game. Camel archers sneak into the back there. ACCM will want the hill. Can he take it? I don't know if he can. Also, kind of a wild situation for Capoch. Capoch is actually out of gold right now. He doesn't have any gold to mine. Getting nice kills here on the camel archers. He'll like that. And here come the Vills from ACCM. This has to be stopped. He doesn't see it. He doesn't actually have the vision there. He might notice it. The Trebs are taking out the siege workshop and the houses. There's the castle foundation. ACCM has brought 22 Vills. And Capoch will build a counter castle. But there's Trebs coming behind as well. And oh god, the skirms were standing on top of the foundation. Now they're standing on top of the foundation again. And now the skirms can't do anything. That castle prevents the skirms from getting anywhere near the Trebs and the camel archers. And ACCM, he doesn't have any stone anymore, but he doesn't need it. 3 castles. I'm sure he'll find more stone as well, by the way. Capoch will lose his castles. And there's 22 camel archers around the map. A new TC for ACCM. And also ACCM's food eco's up to 40 now. So he can go light cav against those skirms. Capoch has no clue those Vills are there. Like, Capoch probably thought that ACCM had no access to stone and gold so many times this game. And then every time he looks around, he just finds another group of Vills doing something. Like, these Vills were sneaky, these Vills were sneaky, these Vills, like... He's just ratted it out. ACCM has refused to die. TC might be denied here. Looking for positives now for Capoch, right? And of course the TC will complete. And ACCM garrisons. Capoch clicks imp. But what type of position is he going to have when he makes it to imp? Not a very good one. I think he might not even make it there. We might even see him tap out. I mean, his TC that he's going imp in is the safest one. But his army is only skirmishers. And, like, 5 Cavalier can kill all of that. And ACCM, to even have the eco for Cavalier, full armor right now. Like, what in the world? How does he have this eco? His Vills sneaking around all the time. Yeah, here's Capoch now. I think some Cav will arrive here. And the Cav and the Camel Archers will be here. Everything in the middle will die. This game is over. ACCM's going to get the first sweep in the group. Remember, he won his group in Season 3. He won his group in Season 2. And any tournament, ACCM comes in firing at 110%. He's ready. There's no questions on his form. And ACCM gets the 3-0. Wow, man. That was ridiculous. I think Capoch is going to be thinking back about Game 1 and Game 3 and just thinking, how did I not kill him? Game 1, he killed 14 Vills, lost 0. Like, I thought ACCM was dead the first game, despite humans. And then it arrives to this state out of nowhere where you're just like, okay, he can't be killed now. It's over. Which is the situation I arrived in once I saw ACCM clicked up to imp in this game. How? I mean, his villager efficiency is probably not great this game. It was 61% worker efficiency compared to 69%. But he just kept popping out bills and sneaking all around, man. The amount of times he was out of a resource and then immediately looked around and found something was ridiculous. And ACCM will be very happy with that. Now, despite all of that, because we've seen some 3-0s where I have been worried about the player, I'm actually not concerned about Capoch. I think Capoch played very well considering we worked with him. He was away for a week, which is why the series was delayed. So if he wasn't like actively grinding or training or, playing every day, that was still a really good series from Capoch. I think he's going to be able to take wins from other people in the group. It's a very complicated group. I won't expect it to be easy, but that was still really good shape considering. If a couple things go differently for Capoch, he might have ended up getting 2 wins here today. But there's the res collected. I was very well played there from ACCM, and he's going to be happy, man. And I expect more of that from ACCM. If people aren't prepared for him, like ACCM plays Dogal next. We'll see that in 2 days, I think. I wouldn't be shocked if ACCM also gets a 3-0 or a 2-1 there. He's my favorite for this group. So let's look at results real quick and just see what that means. And then we'll talk through schedule, like what we see next. See if Liquipedia updates us. Liquipedia is not updated just yet, but you can use your imagination. So in this group, after 2 rounds, MBL and Vinchester will be at 3 wins. Dogal and Tato, they're still just at 1 win. Tato's at 2 wins and Dogal's at 1 win, but that's after just 1 round. ACCM will be tied for first after 1 round. Huge. Capoch will be dead last, unfortunately, because everyone else got a win. Capoch's next set will be up against Tato. That will be on Tuesday. Forget if it's Monday or Tuesday. I'll let you guys know in a second. And then ACCM's next series will be against Dogal, which is also Monday or Tuesday. I'll let you guys know in a second. So we'll have a better idea of what this group looks like as we complete the second round soon. So, yeah, we'll know what if ACCM is able to do that again. This is Group D. Group D's already finished their second round, and Group D's been crazy as well. Hearts looked really good. Darks looked really good. So 5 wins for Heart, 4 for Dark, and then 3 for Andy, 2 for Daniel, 2 for the Viper, and then 2 also for Valis. So Viper in the relegation zone right now. And then we've got the sets that are coming up in round 3, which would be next week for that group, and all the groups are all listed here. But 3 more weeks, basically, right? Here's Group A, and then we have some sets to come. So far in Group A, Sebastian is looking insane. So far, the most impressive player in Titans League 4 for me. He looks unbeatable at times. He looked unbeatable against Doubt. He looked unbeatable against Yo. So he 3-0'd those players, which is crazy. Leary's looked amazing. Leary will play Doubt on Monday or Tuesday. I'll tell you the schedule in a sec. But Dragon Stars looked very good. The Dragon Star Mogugu series earlier today was very good. If you wanted to watch the VOD, I dropped like 7 times. So you might want to wait for the YouTube video on that one. But yeah, that's what Group A looking like. And then we have Group B as well. We're missing some sets there. So we have Hera Sato tomorrow and Classic Pro Nikov tomorrow as our plan to close out the second round. So